give them some more love. Come on, come on. Woohoo, woohoo. All right. Wow, there's so many more of you here now. Hello, beloveds. Hi, good morning. Oh, namaste. It's so great to see you here. It's a great day to be alive. Thank you for being here with us today. Oh, yeah. Just look around for a moment. See who's here with you. Who's here swimming in this ocean of devotion with us this morning? Yeah. Hi, good morning. So beautiful to see everyone. Hello there. Come on in. We've got some seats over here up in the second row if you want to be up front. All right, beloveds. Wow. So it's good to be back. Last Sunday, you all had a Reverend Wayne Edmiston. How was he? Yeah, good. Awesome. Oh, great. It's great to be back with you and to have Jimmy and Karen and Delon and all of the amazing choir angels, Jim, and I can't even name all of you guys right now. But we love you. Thank you. Yes, that's a good idea. Will you stand if you're in the choir? There we go. Woohoo! Yeah. You guys are awesome. We love you. Wow, what a great day to be back. So we're starting out June this Sunday, and so the seed of awakening for June is self-care. Wow, it's amazing what 1 week will do, right? I'm like, where am I? The seed of awakening for June is self-care, and the talk title for today is the evolution of self-care. But I want to begin by asking you guys if you've heard about or even been to that new restaurant over on El Camino called Karma. Has anyone been there? You've been there? Whoa, there's no menu. You get what you deserve.
Make me one with everything.
All right, so laughter is great self-care. What a great segue. So what is self-care? You know, I asked my good buddy ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said, self-care refers to intentional actions and practices that individuals undertake to promote their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Not bad, huh? Not bad, AI. It involves taking time to prioritize and nurture oneself, both physically and emotionally, to maintain a healthy balance in life. It also said that self-care activities can vary greatly from person to person, but they often include activities such as getting enough sleep, eating nutritious food, engaging in regular exercise, practicing relaxation techniques like meditation, pursuing hobbies, spending time with loved ones, look around, that's what we're doing today, and seeking support when needed. Specific self-care practices can be tailored to your preferences and needs, and they are generally things that help you recharge, reduce stress, and enhance your overall well-being. Who loves self-care? Yeah, right? Who wouldn't want that? So it seems to me that as we progress in our spiritual awakening, because, you know, it's an ongoing process, right? There was that moment when you and I awakened to the realization that there's something greater than me that exists here, right? Like, there's something greater than my thoughts that are bringing me down. There's something greater happening, and then we learn to tune into that. And as we continue this process of unfolding and emerging the truest and highest of who we are, we're becoming more of ourselves, right? We're not becoming someone else. We're not becoming some other ideal. We're becoming the spiritual ideal, the divine idea that is within us, right? That seed that is within us. And so we're always unfolding and becoming more of who we came here to be. And in that space, we realize that it's always about making healthy choices. Make good choices, as Mom used to say, right? Mom or Dad. But it was always about making healthy and healing choices. You know, there's always an option. And as we begin and continue to learn more and more, we realize the many ways that there are options for us to choose mentally, right? We get to choose. And so we get empowered in that choice, and it's awesome. And part of this choice that we have got to make as spiritual beings having a human experience is that choice for self-care. Now, I was thinking about how I feel when it seems like there is some kind of violation, and I realize it's like when a boundary is crossed, right? You feel as though you're like, and it's that feeling of, and you can't quite explain it. But usually it has to do with self-care, and there is something that's occurring that is making you, it's creating like a dissonance within you. And that dissonance is because you are tuning into what another person needs over what you actually need. Now, self-care is not selfish, even though it's self-care, right? It's not selfish for you guys to practice good self-care. It is not selfish at all. It is not like, it's just not selfish. It's something that we need to do. It's really for self-preservation, right? And some of us may have had a hard time with that. Either we learned another way. We learned that we needed to take care of others or be there for others first, especially as parents. We've got to be there for others, especially our kids, right? And then we grow up, but there's something that has to shift so that we are there for ourselves. It's not selfish. I'm going to say that over and again. So why is self-care important on a spiritual level? Well, because it nourishes and supports all aspects of our being, mind, body, and spirit. Taking care of ourselves actually allows us to cultivate a deeper connection with our inner selves, our highest selves, or that higher consciousness that we know is within us. So tending to our physical, emotional, and mental well-being, we enhance our capacity to experience spiritual growth. We enhance our capacity to experience heightened awareness and a greater sense of alignment with our true selves. Who wants that? Hello. Amen, right? I'll take it. So essentially, self-care is a foundation for our spiritual journey, enabling us to be more present, balanced, and receptive to that wisdom and insight that can arise and does arise from within us. We want to be tuned into that, And I was having a conversation. By the way, we kicked off our first Gourmets for God event yesterday with Susan's event. Yay! Yes. And that was wonderful, so much fun, and there's many more to come. So I was talking to Susan at her event on Saturday, and she said, I walk every day, and this morning I was going to go on my walk, and my mind tried to convince me otherwise. Well, you have too much to do today. There isn't going to be enough time. But she did it anyway. She didn't listen to that little voice, And she did it anyway, and she felt really good because that's her time with the divine. That's her time to connect with her highest self, her innermost self, right? And so she did it, and she felt really good. She was like glowing. What a great example. Thank you, Susan. And then I remembered for me, working out, like physical activity, a movement is really a spiritual practice for me. It's my God time. It's sacred and holy. I looked over at Reverend Diane, and I was thinking about, like, her God time seems like a good part of it is pickleball and the pickleball court. It's true, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. We have this time of communion where we're in our element and we forget about time, and it's just like an eternal thing happening, There's the moment that is not just a fleeting moment, but it expands out into this vastness, right? This spaciousness. So experiencing that oneness with all of life, And so I will do my walk every day, and that's my spirit walk. It's my time. It's my God time. And then I'll do some more intense workouts, and that's my God time too, like classes and swimming, hiking, jogging, biking. All of it is God time. I was so resonating with this song. Some folks work all day. I do that. Some just want to have fun. That's me too. Some folks watch TV. That's me too. And some just like to run. Yes, that's me too. All of it. I love it, you know. But people have asked me, Reverend Elizabeth, how do you have time for exercise? And I say, I don't, right? I don't have time. I don't have time. I make time. I make time for exercise because being healthy and fit matters to me. Consciously communing with the God of my understanding matters to me. Therefore, you might see that I wake up at 4:45 a.m. to get to a class at 5:30 to exercise before my workday begins. Now, others have also tried to set different priorities for me, thinking my exercising is some sort of an avoidance or a distraction from other important matters that need my attention right now. But whenever that happens, I have to stick to my truth, because what I know for me and my well-being is that this is part of my practice. And it's like a non-negotiable. Like, it's as important to me as breathing and eating. You know, for those of you who don't skip meals, right? It's like exercise for me. I've got to get out and move. Got to get out and move. Otherwise, I'm this ball of atomic, frenetic energy. I'm all over the place. I'm like cranky and mad and sad, like I'm up and down, and it's just weird, right? Travis is attesting to that. I just get weird. It's like, who is that person?
Time to go run.
I know. Sometimes feel like a dog, or, you know, got to walk the dog. We got to walk Reverend Elizabeth. It's true, though, right? It's just part of who I am. So, but when others try to say or have me think that, you know, otherwise, because they do, right? They do. And they just don't know. But I stick to my truth, what I know for me and my well-being. And so a tool that I use is actually, and I don't even have to consciously do it, but it's like it just passes right by. It doesn't land on me anywhere, because in that sense, I'm like spiritual Teflon. I know what I know, and I know what's not needed, and I let it just slide right off, right? You are spiritual Teflon, you guys. Whatever is not needed is just going to slide right off, right? And whatever's coming to you in the world, in your family, on the pickleball court, wherever you find yourself, you know, just whatever's not needed just slides right off. And you get to stand, and I get to stand in the truth of who I am and know that my time is valuable and important, and I matter in the world. And this is true for you too. Can I get an amen? Amen. Yes. Thank you. And a glory. All right. So, nothing is more important than taking good care of me. Nothing is more important than you taking good care of you. You have to do it. You have to. No one else is going to take as good of care of you as you are. So, if you don't do things to keep your own cup full, you will have nothing left to give or share with others. Right? Because sometimes we do that too. We give, and it's so easy. And we'll even say it, well, it's so easy to do all these things for this other person, but when it comes to me, you know, I feel selfish or something. But no, you've got to let that go. You've got to totally let that go. So how do we fill our cup spiritually? There's a lot of ways, right? The first most valuable way for us here in this community is a 5-point balanced spiritual practice. And that includes prayer, meditation, observing that silence, right? Whether it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 40 minutes. Spiritual study, making the time to pick up a spiritual book or the Science of Mind textbook, or taking time to listen to a sermon, watch a YouTube video. They've got even just short YouTube videos that you can go and watch, whatever it is. Read the Science of Mind magazine. We've got our book of the month that you can pick up after the service and just open that book up. It's called The Care of the Soul. It's a beautiful book by Thomas More, required reading for licensed practitioners. Really a good book. And so you can get into selfless or sacred service, and that can be small, right? It's not like you have to go and build a boat for someone, a small, selfless, sacred service, being a greeter on a Sunday. That's easy, right? But it's a moment in time where you're getting out of yourself, getting out of your head, and being in service to others. That's part of your balanced spiritual practice. And then there's conscious giving, which is you practicing the generosity of spirit. Whether you're giving $1 a week to $100 a week or $1,000 a week, whatever it is, right? You have a conscious, regular practice of giving, because we build on things, don't we? Right? Consciousness creates little by little, poco a poco. I can't remember the rest. So we're building little by little. And then you can book a session with a practitioner or a minister. You can go and get out into nature. How many nature lovers do we have here? Right? Everyone. Look at us. We can go out and walk around the park. That is you feeding your soul, feeding your spirit, filling your cup spiritually, being present, practicing that mindfulness. And you can make or listen to uplifting music. You can take time away to renew yourself. You can practice laughter. Laughing is such great spiritual medicine, because in that moment of laughter, you forgot about everything. You forgot about the good, the bad, the to-do list, the grocery list, what you're going to eat later, what you ate earlier, how you're going to burn it off, right? All of that. You forgot all of it, and you had a moment of peace. Oh, laughter is good, good, good. And friends, be gentle with yourselves. Be gentle with yourselves and others, because everyone is on a journey. We have no idea what's happening in the world of another person. From the magnificent to the very tragic, and that whole scale in between, right? The shadow and the light. We just don't know. So be gentle. Let's be gentle with ourselves. And then I always remember that it's the God of my understanding that lives within me that I have to make number one. When I make that number one, it makes me number one too. Yeah. And that is the start of filling my cup. So I wrote on my notes codependency, and I thought, that's funny. Why did I just wrote codependency. So just thinking about codependency and the way that occurs in our lives, right? And what happens when there's codependency going on, and if somebody is behaving in a codependent way, and then all of a sudden they're upset with you because they're behaving in a codependent way, and you feel like, hey, I'm just chilling, But there's that codependent experience. So how to deal with that and be in the most loving space for that, right? Like, we can recognize when others are in that space and maybe offer them a boundary, like, I'm good, I'm cool, I don't need to be taken care of, or however it is expressing itself, because you can sense it, that something just feels a little different, and you're like, what is that, right? Can anyone relate to that? Yeah. So you can set your boundary, and it's like, no. So I've got 5 self-care practices that you can actually incorporate today to improve your quality of life. The first is prioritizing sleep. Getting enough sleep is crucial for your overall well-being. If you establish a regular sleep schedule, you end up creating a calming bedtime routine, ensuring your sleep environment is comfortable and you've got it just right, temperature-wise and light-wise, right? Some people like the total blackout, no light at all. Some like a night light, whatever it is. And then make sure you're getting that amount of sleep that is important for you. I like 8 hours. That's my number. That's the magic number. 8 hours, I wake up and I'm good. I can do and be amazing throughout my whole day. And I feel great mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. If I get 6 or 7 hours, I start to feel drained at like 10 a.m. You know? It's that feeling of just, and you can start to feel yourself get a little bit, just ever so slight bit cranky. Yeah? And then you start eating, and then you just want to eat. That tastes good. Wow, I'm just going to eat some more. And then you think you need more energy. It's just this weird cycle, but if we just got enough sleep, we'd be in our groove, The second is practice mindfulness or meditation. Take a few moments each day to engage in mindfulness or meditation. This will help us to reduce stress, improve focus, and promote a sense of calm and clarity. Those are very key, right? A sense of calm and clarity. Because when we have that clarity, we know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And we're less inclined to freak out. So number 3 is engage in regular physical activity. Now, some of us can exercise more. Some of us can do different types of exercises, and you don't have to be like anybody else. Just be you. Just do you. Reverend Diane's going to do pickleball. We're going to do XGT. We're also going to do some walking and hiking, and you might do yoga or some other form of exercise. Maybe it's gentle walking, whatever it is. Incorporate that into your practice, right? And make it a regular part of your routine. Number 4 is connecting with others. Please do not isolate. Whatever is going on in your life, make sure that you are reaching out. We are here for you. We are always here for you. Either myself or one of our ministers, Reverend Diane, or one of our beautiful practitioners. You've got a lot of us here and available for you. And then connect with each other, right? One of the things, and we were just talking about this at our Gourmets for God event, is we love classes. Classes here are so important and so valuable because we get to be together for 8 to 10 weeks, sometimes 4 or 5 weeks. But in those 8 to 10 weeks, we get to go deeper with a group of people who are also seeking and wanting to learn more and grow spiritually. And so that's really the opportunity to go deep and build those connections so that you then want to see your friends on Sunday when you come to the service, right? Isn't that great? Yeah, so connect with others. Building and nurturing relationships is important, and especially with like-minded souls, Building relationships with people who are on the same spiritual path with you is such a valuable thing. Reach out to us. Reach out to your friends, Schedule a coffee date. If there's somebody you really want to talk to or hang out with, contact them and schedule some time with them. It's so beautiful. Or you can participate in the group activities. We have so many going on. There's new belonging circles that are starting. Engage. You've got to engage. And then lastly, I want to say set boundaries and practice saying no. We've done this before. Say it with me. No. 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 Let me hear it again. No. What?
I said good day.
What?
I said good day.
I said good day. I said good day. No. Repeat after me. No. 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 Nope. Yeah, so there's also a thing about being kind when you say it, right? I'm still learning. And so it's like, every now and then, if a boundary is crossed, it's like, and when the boundaries get crossed, it comes out of left field, like you're totally cool cruising along, and then it's just like, boom, and it's like, whoa, wait a second. Do you feel, is that just me? Have you guys felt that? And you just like kind of fall over or something, and you just, lose your composure for a moment. So it's a practice, it's always a practice. I love that. I said good day. No, I said good day. It's essential for us to prioritize our own needs and set healthy boundaries and learn to say no to tasks or commitments that overwhelm us and make time for activities that bring us joy and relaxation. Yeah? We were just talking about that the other day too, right? Being able to sit in here and enjoy the service and relax. So self-care practices, as a reminder, can vary for each person. So you can customize these practices based on your own personal preferences and needs, but know that self-care is really an integral part of our human experience. We've got to take the time and make the time for ourselves. If you don't have time, you need to make the time, right? Your evolution depends on your commitment to self-care. I'm going to say that again. Your evolution depends on your commitment to self-care. So what are some ways that you self-care? Just let's hear it. Healthy eating. How about hot bath, exercise? Dancing, yes. Playing music. Come into church, woo! Yeah. Singing in the choir, yeah. It feeds you, right? Yes. Writing, yeah. Gardening, yes. We've seen the fruits of that too, literally. What else?
Playing with my dog.
Playing with your dog. Yeah. Watching nature. Sewing? Nice, yeah. Yeah. How about you, Delon? Surfing, yeah. See, not everyone in here is going to be surfing, right? That's another thing, really, So there is perfection in our individualism. I think sometimes we think that we need to be like a certain person, but know that there's no specific image to look up to for perfection but you. You are an individual expression of the one, and you do not need to model after anyone or anything. People will try to put you into that mold or put you into a box that matches something else, but you do not have to do it. They will try. You are you, and that is truer than true. It was Ralph Waldo Emerson who said, to be yourself in a world constantly trying to make you something else is a great accomplishment. So look within and you will encounter who you truly are. You will harness that potential that's within you and eventually become the best you can be. We're always the best us we can be, aren't we? It's just how it goes, right? Yeah, well, you're still, even on those days, you are the best that you can be. For whatever reason, right? So this awareness helps us to see ourselves in a greater light. Now, does anybody here ever have self-deprecating thoughts? Anyone? Right? It's like, what happens? What happens? We just go down that route, right? We go down that route. So I think it's because we hold ourselves to some standard, some model, some image of perfection that's not actually who we are. And we can never be that. And so that self-deprecation continues, But what if we were to just let that go and see ourselves in the light of who we are? Perfect, magnificent, holy, sacred, unique exactly as you are and exactly as you are not. Yes. When we get to that space, all of those self-deprecating thoughts are eliminated. It's just not true, and we know it's not true. And so that negativity is dissolved, and what is boosted is the positivity in our own minds. Looking at me so attentively. Are you listening? Right? You feel that love for yourself? Yeah, when we do that and increase that positivity, we begin to feel more love in our hearts for ourselves. Can you guys get present to that love within you right now? Even if you feel like you're not lovable, that you actually are, that Spirit loves you no matter what. No matter what happened, no matter what will happen, you are so loved. Oh, yeah. So good. So self-love helps harness thoughts that encourage self-care for yourself and others. Louise Hay observed, "Remember, you have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked." Hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. Just try it. Just try this, you guys. And the last point that I want to make today is that there can be no self-care without action. So the Science of Mind philosophy is grounded in the power of your spiritual being and an understanding that you are having a human experience. So this philosophy is grounded in that power of knowing I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. My mind has a great influence on how I get to experience this life. So as I unlock my mind's abilities to create my ideal life experience, I must also know that action must be taken to experience a joyful, peaceful, and thriving life. Our little egos are so, thank you. Our little egos, or big egos, are so cute. They try to just take the easy way out sometimes. Like, well, if I'm just going to pray about it and not do anything, and I'm going to pray to lose weight and release this extra weight and sit in my living room eating bonbons for months, right? It's not working. Kristen, it's not working. Well, I can just hear Kristen. You need to treat and move your feet, right? So there is no controversy about the power of the mind. However, to unlock the mind's full potential, you must complete these 3 steps: thought, feeling, action. Thought, feeling, action. Thought, feeling, action. Remember those. Thought, feeling, action. An example, I love this example. This example to illustrate that statement is, you can't think about going to work in the morning and expect your thoughts to take you there. Unless you work from home. But still, you've got to actually get up out of bed, right? Unless what? You can't just think about going to work in the morning and expect your thoughts to take you there. You can't just think about having delicious coffee in the morning and expecting your thoughts to take you there. It doesn't work that way. As much as thoughts are important to experience an ideal life, action is an important player in the game. Action, action, action. So it is counteractive to think about self-care without actually taking the conscious steps toward it, right? We've got to take action. Self-care starts in the mind with an intention, and having that intention helps us become aware of the different types of actions that we can take for this self-care. So as you think about that process, you then feel the emotion to help you uphold it. I want to practice more self-care in my life. You feel like you love yourself, and it creates that feeling of what's preparing you to take that action, right? To unlock all the unlimited benefits you can get from it. Sounded like an infomercial just then, didn't it? Self-care, my friends. So there's a great story about Gary, who was a school teacher who actually believed he did not have time for self-care. He immersed himself totally in work and neglected all other areas of his life. Gary was reported to have self-esteem issues. After implementing a few self-care techniques into his daily routine, he became more articulate when interacting with people. He gained more confidence in himself. His confidence then helped him change his unhealthy habits. Now Gary is not just a teacher, but a teacher who has harnessed most of his talents and is living his life without boundaries. Yay, Gary, right? That, yeah, woo! That Gary is within you, right? Thank you. She's doing the dance, the happy dance. We're called to live our lives without boundaries, to be unapologetically who we are and who we came here to be. The world needs you. This is not just for you. This is for all of us, right? You and I are a part of a whole. We exist here together on this planet, in this community, at this time, and it is so good. So self-care is easy to speak about and can be very challenging to do for some. Some may think it's needless and inconsequential to aid in their spiritual growth, but I'm telling you, we need this. And once we are aware of the necessity for self-care, it can't be ignored, especially if you've opened yourself to the limitless possibilities that lie within to live fully, unapologetically, as you are in all of your greatness. Wow, I just looked out at you and I see this radiant self within you just shining, like you're all so brilliant and magnificent. And I see that in you. Look around. Do you see it in each other? Just take a look at each other. Yeah. So friends, remember that if self-demeaning thoughts are visiting your mind, you will be unable to use your mind well. And the practice of meditation will help us entertain positive thoughts. The practice of meditation will allow us to release those distractions and that negativity that tries to hook us and pull us down, right? And so practicing sitting in quiet or taking a walk in an environment that you love. One that just popped into my mind was that elfin forest over in Morro Bay. Yeah. Now stress, friends, stress affects the mind as much as it affects the body. So we're also called to practice the pause. Who remembers cassette players? Right? Right? Yeah. Press the pause button. I think CD players even have that, or DVD players, right? You could, 8 tracks. Who remembers 8 tracks? That was before my time, okay? What? I've seen them, but we never actually, I've seen them, right? But that pause button, I remember pressing pause like I wanted to write down the words from a song, before the internet, right? Yes, I'm that old. And so pausing and just writing it down, and then pressing the play button, then pausing again. But what I'm really being present to this week is practicing that pause, where I can pause and be in a space of response rather than reaction, because stress causes us to be reactionary. But if we can pause ourselves, we will be responsive and not reactive. Like a nuclear bomb, reactive, right? Responsive. We want to be responsive. And that silence and meditation is so helpful too. Even if you do that for 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, getting into that practice will have you learn to love it, and then you'll want to add more time to it because you realize, oh, this is actually helping me, So the questions to ask yourself this week are, number one, how do you practice self-care? Number two, what is one practice you can incorporate this week for self-care? And number three, what spiritual techniques can you adapt to eliminate unsupportive thoughts? And I'm now going to invite Travis up as we prepare for our closing song. Go ahead and do what I call the religious science shuffle. Maybe you just shake your arms and shake your legs and stretch out a little bit. Maybe you scratch your nose. Get comfortable and allow yourself to sit up in your chair. And you can close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you, or you can rest your gaze a few feet in front of you. Just relax and allow your body to be totally present and in this moment right now. So comfortable that you forget about your body just for a moment. And listen to that beautiful sound of the guitar. Allow it to take you on a journey. It's like I'm being transported on this beautiful cloud, weightless, floating and remembering that spirit is all that there is. It is all that there ever was, and it is all that there ever will be. And I'm so grateful in this moment to know and recognize this truth, because as I remember that God is all that there is, I am standing in it, because I remember that if God is all there is, then it must be true that it is in me, as me, and through me also. Oh, yes. And as I remember that, I know and believe that I am unstoppable. That Spirit wants to live through me. Spirit wants to love through me. Spirit wants to shine its radiant, magnificent, beautiful light through me and as me. And this is true for each one of us. And Spirit says we got to take care of ourselves. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and the human needs some self-care. The human of us, this body, this mentality, it needs time to recover and recoup and regenerate. It needs to feel loved and adored. The body temple, right? This body temple, which is this vessel that is walking on the earth at this time, as a house of the soul that lives within it. It needs care. And so we take care of ourselves. We practice self-care, whatever that looks like. This week we add a couple of new things, whether it's adding that new walking routine or exercise routine. Maybe it's even getting a massage or a facial, or incorporating a little bit more of that silent meditation in our practice. All of us adds one or two new things this week so that we can actually feel that love and that care that we have for ourselves. Because as we care for ourselves, we draw in others who also care for themselves. And there's no need for codependency. There's only love. And there's self-care. And we know we are self-sufficient. And we are provided for and cared for and loved by Spirit. Oh my gosh, it's so good. My heart is so full, and I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful that as we go out from here, we feel the love and we are vibrating at a different frequency, a higher frequency than we were vibrating at when we walked through the doors this morning. And this high frequency is the frequency of love. It's a frequency of joy. It's the frequency of harmony and magnificence and radiance. It's the frequency of all the good that God has in store for me in my life. And I say, yes. Wow, I'm on fire for Spirit. And I'm not afraid to show it. And that is how we move through our day. And so with great gratitude, I know that this prayer is complete, that there's nothing more that I need to say to have it be more complete than it already is, but to simply say thank you, to simply feel that gratitude for all that is and for all that is yet to be, this cycle of life. This is a precious time, and I am grateful as I release my prayer into the loving and creative action of the law. I know it is done. This prayer is complete and returns to me made manifest, because that is the way the law works. And so it is. Yay. Thank you. Good one. Thank you, honey.